Hi friends, this is Anna with Scrapping, Stamping, and Stuff. I'm back today with a really fun card. I'm really excited about today's card. We are making a shaker card, but it's not just any shaker card. Today's card is a gel shaker card. So I'm going to move this around so that you can see. Do you know what's in there? We are using hair gel for today's project. So I had seen a tutorial like this not too long ago and I really wanted to make one, and I thought, what better set to use to make a gel shaker card than our new Whale Done stamp set and the coordinating whale builder punch. So this is the set we're going to use for this really neat card today, and let me show you a couple of the other products we are going to be using as well. We are using, can you see that this border piece right here is glimmery? This is some of our new rainbow glimmer paper, which I love. It comes in all of these different shades, so you can die cut from one area if you just want pink, or you can get the variations. So you're going to see some of that variation on this card and the other one we're going to make, which is going to be some different colors. We are using the designer paper is from the Whale of a Time pack, and I wanted to bring some of these in here and just show you real fast because they are so pretty. I had a really hard time deciding which prints to use because they are so much fun, and here are the other sides, so you can get an idea of how gorgeous those are. And the dies that I use to cut out this frame and the border, these are our Stitched So Sweetly dies, which are really nice ones, really nice frames with the scallop edges and the stitching. So those are going to be for the frame. So let me show you what we actually need to make this project. We need our card base. This is Pacific Point, measures 5.5 by 8.5, and it's folded in half. We need one of our clear envelopes. If you look for envelopes in our catalog, these clear ones are with them, or if you're on the website, you can search for clear envelopes. We need one of those. We need a couple of pieces of that designer paper that I mentioned. This one measures 4.25 by 5.5. This one measures 4 by 5.25, and I do want to show you, I wanted to get this a little bit sturdier than the designer paper, which I'll explain here in a minute. So I put a piece of cardstock on the back of that before I die cut this piece out. Here, this is a piece of our rainbow glimmer paper that I use those dies for. We need some extra white. I have our little greeting already ready. And we need some Whale of a Time sequins. I'm going to see if I can show these to you up close, and I don't know if that's going to focus, but they're really pretty colors, they're different shapes, and can you see these little ones that are like seashells? So those are a lot of fun. We're going to use those inside of the gel for that shaker section of this card. So let's get started. We are going to start with this card base, and first we just need to attach this piece of designer paper to it. We're going to make this one in traditional colors. I really like the pink. I have a special blog hop coming up next week, and I needed to come up with some kind of pink project, and pink is not normally my number one color that I use. I thought, well, what do I want to make? And for whatever reason, it occurred to me that a pink ocean scene might be kind of fun. Now we are going to prepare this gel shaker pocket in here. So I am going to open this up and stick the hair gel down inside of it. I want to use, I'm going to say approximately 1 tablespoon of gel, and I want to get it down in there as far as I can because up here at the top I'm going to try and fold it and seal it up some. So I'm going to stick this down in there as much as I can, and that's going to work pretty well. So I'm going to squeeze out approximately 1 tablespoon. We'll go with that. You could go more, you could go less. I didn't want it to be too jelly because if I do decide to mail this, I thought that could maybe cause a problem if there was too much gel inside. So you can see that. Now I'm going to open up these sequins. And I'm going to use some more cooking measurements here. I am guessing that I'm going to use about a teaspoon of these. So that's going to be 1 little fingerful and a few more. That one jumped out. I think he wants in there too. So now what we need to do, we need to pull that little backing piece off, the little paper backing for the adhesive. And I want to smooth this around. I want to get those sequins mixed in with that gel, but I really want to keep this away from one of the edges. Most of the gel is going to end up being in this section, and the rest of this is going to be folded up and hidden in the back of my card. So I'm going to move this around some, try and get those sequins mixed in, get that gel spread around in the section where I want it to be. And I want to try and get the air out of there as much as I can. I got quite a few air bubbles in this one, which isn't really a problem, but for this next one, I thought I would try to keep some more of those out. So I'm going to seal that edge. I'm going to push some of that gel back down this way. And now I need some Scotch tape. I am going to fold this up a couple of times, and this is my sort of my check to make sure that that gel does not come out of here. If you like, you could do this same trick with a Ziploc bag, but I really like the finish of these clear envelopes. A Ziploc bag to me seems kind of cheap for a nice card. Doesn't seem like the finish I want for a card like this. So that's why I use these clear envelopes. But you have to make sure that it's sealed up really well. So you have to get this folded down small enough that I see a bit of gel. I'm not sure where that came from. Hopefully it's not leaking. I guess I'll find out if it is. So I need to get it folded down small enough that it is going to fit behind that piece of designer paper. So I need to fold down this piece some. This edge, get that gel pushed up, then fold it over a couple of times, and I am going to check. Okay, that will fit behind that piece. So I'll tape that up. You don't want your tape to come out too far from your folds because once again, you don't want it to show behind your window. So now I have this flipped over, so the folded edges I am going to have at the top and the right sides. And I am going to center this on that designer paper. Just as a check, I want to bring this piece in and make sure that when I place this on top, that I am not going to see any of those folds or anything that I don't want to see back there. So it looks like that should work. So I need to flip it back over to the side with all those folds up and use some of our tear and tape adhesive along each of the edges for this. This is nice strong adhesive that is going to really hold all of those edges down. So I'm curious what you all are going to think of the shaker card. Let me know if you have other ideas for are there other fun things we could put in shaker cards, different materials, different little shaker beads. I thought this was perfect for these ocean scenes. So I got those pieces of tear and tape on. I'll pull the backing off now. The tear and tape sticks really well to this plastic material. Okay, so I want to be real careful when I'm laying this down because I am not going to be able to move it once I place it down. So I am actually going to place this pretty close to the left and bottom edges. I want to leave enough space for a small border to show. So I have this about 1/4 of an inch from the left and 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. And I'm not real concerned about these borders up here. So here you can see the goal is that just a little bit of that background designer paper is going to show, and you're not going to see any of those edges. So that works perfectly. So here, I told you I placed a piece of cardstock on the back of this designer paper because I wanted it to be nice and sturdy. On this card, I did not put that cardstock behind. It's just a piece of designer paper, and you can feel some of those bumps back there from the folds in the clear envelope. So I thought on this one I would add the cardstock just to make it a little bit sturdier, and I think you'll still feel a little bit of that extra thickness, but it won't be bumpy like it is on this one. So I need to place some good adhesive on the back of this. I am going to use some of our new Seal Plus adhesive, and I am going to cover basically the entire back of this paper to make sure that everything stays put. Now I don't quite have space down here for any of that, so I'll run a little strip of glue along. We're using quite an array of adhesives on this project, as you can see. You need one of everything, I think. So once again, I need to make sure that is in the right spot before I place it down. If you wanted to balance out the thickness here with something down here, you could put dimensionals behind these parts. I just thought of that right now, so that might be a nice way to make everything seem nice and level because it is a little bit uneven. Not too bad, not so bad that it bothers me, but that is an idea if you want to try it. So you can see our little ocean. I love this. How fun is that? So on this one, you can probably see I successfully have less air bubbles in this one because I smoothed it out, tried to get all that air out before I sealed it up. On this one, I was a beginner practicing, and I did not know, I didn't think about trying to do that. So, all right, we're ready to decorate. Now, here is our frame piece that I cut using the Stitched So Sweetly dies. I used the 2 largest dies at the same time on that rainbow glimmer paper to cut out this frame. And I used the 2nd largest frame die on this piece to cut that out. So we'll use a little bit of glue all around this to attach it. I think this is just a really fun card, especially for kids. I think kids would absolutely love this card, but honestly, I would really love this card too if somebody wanted to send it to me. So it's one of those cards that you could send to anybody, and especially kids. So you can see that color variation on this. I'm debating whether I want the green at the top or the bottom. I don't think it really matters. Now when I place this down, I need to be careful to try and get the scallops to line up even. The inside of my frame is exactly the same size as the inside of the hole in that designer paper, so they have to line up perfectly. So when you lay that down, you want to be careful where you're putting it. Super. All right, I think we are ready for a whale. On this card, I stamped and fussy cut out the seaweed So if you don't know what fussy cutting is, I did that with scissors. So that took me a couple of minutes to do that. I thought that was kind of a fun addition. On this one, I thought it would keep it just a little bit simpler. So here's some white cardstock. I have my whale stamp and some Pacific Point ink. Stamp that. And I've got my punch here. I love a good stamp and punch combo because it makes it so quick and easy to cut out whatever you have just stamped. Okay, so here I have that whale. I did get some other pieces that we are not going to use today. There's the big long piece you can use for his belly. There's the little splash. Lots of fun pieces you can use. So we are going to attach this right here. Then we are going to attach the greeting right up top, and I believe we are done. So I need some dimensionals. I'm going to use some of the larger dimensionals on the whale and a couple of smaller ones on the greeting. So I stamped the greeting. I did use that same Pacific Point color on it, and I cut out around it with scissors. I thought the rounded look was nice for the ocean. The ocean doesn't really have many corners, does it? So we'll put that on. We'll add the whale. And we are done. How fun are those? So here is a fun new idea to add to that collection of ideas in your mind, and you should try these out. If you try these out, I would love to see what you have to share. I have a Facebook group I would love for you to join where I record all my videos live. It is Scrapping, Stamping, and Stuff. Send me a request to join, and if you're watching in my Facebook group, make sure you're also subscribed on my YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed this idea, and I hope to see you again next time.